This is set number 70800, Getaway Glider. This is our first official LEGO Movie set review. I know I've done a few before that counted collectible minifigures, Western Emmett, and also the Emmett's car from Toys R Us. This is the first one we could actually consider the boxed set review. And we've also had a few merchandise reviews before that. But this is our first that, most people can get in their stores. This is ages 6 to 12, 104 pieces, released in 2014, and retails for $13. This is one of the cheapest sets to get from the LEGO Movie theme, one of two that are in the $13 range. Let's take a closer look at this set now. So here we have the box art for the set. It's a very small box. It's relative size to other sets that are of the $13 range. And you can see on the front how the movie format is shown. It has a little film strip for your classic movie details. Also shows the giant LEGO Movie logo on the top. We get the main action in the middle, kind of slanted, but also you can see in the background, if you look very carefully, all of the scenery is made in somewhat LEGO form. You can actually look at some of the pieces and even the clouds and see that they're made based on Legos. Or should I say Lego? Sorry. You can also see the three characters that we get in the set on the bottom corner, and all the set info is just where it usually is. There's a look at it from the side where it shows you all of the names of the set. That's kind of a not an extremely common thing when it comes to LEGO sets, that you get to see all the names of the characters and all of them shown on the top corner. Also shows you the actual size as usual. LEGO Movie there, nothing special on the bottom. It's all pretty much the same around the other sides of the box. And on the back of the box, we get to see, again, that film strip cutting, kind of these triangular shapes in the scene. Does give it a little bit of style, but it also maybe takes away from the environment in the background. You can still see the environment in the background, and you can still see it's made out of LEGO pieces. Or digitalized versions. It also shows in the bottom the main features of the sets and the LEGO Movie video game on the bottom. As of the time of this box's release, it was rated rating pending, but we now know the rating. I think. Hold on. E10 and up. If you didn't hear that, that was rated E10 and up. So, there we have our box. We get two bags in this set, one for small pieces, one for large pieces. You can see the division of the pieces and the building of the set with a separate video, link in the description. We get a small sticker sheet. It only has 4 stickers on it, all of them used on the main model. We get the instruction booklet. You've probably seen this a few times, but the instructions inside are based on the instructions for creator themes, as well as for the, Emmett's instructions on how to live. So it's got some nice detail in there and shows you each of the parts very well on how to build it. I like how they, this is a nice clean style for a LEGO Movie set. And I had a curious thing about this. I may have mentioned this before. You're building something by the instructions, but the model itself is actually not by the instructions in the movie, right? I haven't seen the movie yet. This is a pre-movie review. But I just thought about it. Some of these LEGO Movie sets, you're building something by the instructions, even though the model itself is, creatively built just from, random parts. So does that make it a contradiction, or does it make it, I don't know. It's kind of a mind-blowing thing when you think about it. So maybe you shouldn't think too much about it like I do. Sorry about the camera movement. And I also apologize, I forgot to turn on the light. I do have a new light, which I will be using in future reviews. So I will turn it on for the rest of this review after this segment. You get to see in the back portion the piece of resistance shown on the ground, and you have good versus bad in the background. Also shows a QR code on the bottom, similar to the minifigure series, where you can see the trailer and the LEGO Movie Experience app. It's available for iOS devices. On this side, you get to see the actual sets kind of lined up together. Nice little play with them. You know, I like when they put the sets together in different ways, you know, to make a little scene instead of having to use each of the sets independently. And then it also shows rated pending, the Lego Movie video game, and all of the systems that it's available on. We also get to see the one page of all the piece count. It kind of takes away, you know, this big area for customer service. It's understood because of all the languages, but it still, you know, kind of cuts into where the piece count is. So I can see they're kind of, you know, squishing everything inside of here just to fit it on one page. And on the back, we just have the win section. If we look down here, we can see all of the extra pieces in the set. Some of them are new pieces, and I do have a new segment coming for this video where we'll get to unveil the new pieces in any set from 2014 and beyond. So there are a lot of extra pieces in here. Some of them you recognize from older sets. We have some bracket pieces like this, which is used for Emmett. We have an extra horn piece. This is the first of our new pieces for the set, although it may have been used in the Lone Ranger's line. I don't recall. Post in the comments if it has been, because I haven't seen it until this set, and I don't remember if it was in that theme. I don't have any of those sets. We also have some 1x1s. This is a chrome piece. No, it's not. Yeah, it's kind of chrome. And we also have this little section. This is actually a packaging material that is used for the arrow on the set. I actually lost the other arrow that goes to this, so I do apologize. You can even see it at the end of the building video. It just kind of shoots off screen, so I do apologize. That's not here, but there is an extra arrow in this set. We got a pistol, one of the little robot hands. We got a Technic pin, a 1x2 grate piece, and this other new piece for this set, the mustache. This is a neck piece that goes underneath the minifigure's head and allows you to wear a mustache for your minifigure. Instead of having one printed on there, it gives it a little bit more texture, kind of the bushy classic style of mustache that, you know, people recognize most. So now we'll continue with this review with the new light. Okay, so here's the new segment to our reviews. This is where we unveil all of the new pieces that are included with this set that have not been made up to this point. Now, some of these may be released in other sets from the same year, but in terms of previous years, they have not yet been used. I think only 2 of these I may be unsure about, so I do apologize. The first one we have is Emmett's hair. This is a unique piece which has now been added to the LEGO parts database and has been so far available only through Emmett. You can recognize it's a new hair piece because it has this new flap on the back where some of the hair is sticking up, and a little bit of the comb design is unique to him as well. There are similar ones, but this one is a nice piece to get for, you know, adding more creativity to each of your minifigures. The next minifigure piece we have is the cowboy hat. This is a very, I wouldn't say it's very wide, it's actually very narrow of a hat. Has a new print on it, a little star to let you know it's a sheriff hat, and we'll see how it fits on a minifigure in just a bit. But you can also see the sides are very narrowed in, so that helps you to recognize it from other figures. The next hat we have is another cowboy hat, and this is not the same one as the Indiana Jones hat or the one shown for the Western Emmett. It's much, much wider all around than those 2 hats, which are exactly the same. So it does give a little bit more style to it, and it definitely makes it, you know, much more wide and more cowboy authentic. Next piece we have is this laser gun. This one does have a clip on the top of it, so you can use different darts and such for it. Similar ones have been made before for not for Star Wars, but for another series. There was for Dino, this was similarly made, but this is an entirely new piece. It kind of has this nice rail underneath where you would have the simulation of a shotgun, but it doesn't actually move. Next piece that we have is the horn piece. I mentioned this before, but I wanted to show you a little closer how that is. And we get 2 of these in this set. All the other ones we've talked about so far, we only get 1 of. This one may be a new piece, but I'm uncertain because it may have been used in Lone Ranger. However, it's still fairly new since not many other themes have embraced this piece yet, like Lone Ranger. Our next piece is a 1x2. This is a very unique kind of curve. We've traditionally gotten them in 1x3 and 1x4, but this one is a 1x2. So it makes for more abrupt curvings, and we get 4 of them in this set. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Looks like about 5 or 6 in this set. The next piece we have is the piece of resistance. It's a very unique piece that is standing a little bit taller than a regular Lego piece. It does have this unique insert in it, which allows you to, attach other studs to the inside of that. You can see it when we put it on Emmett. And in comparison to another Lego brick, I have our little popcorn mock to show you. It stands roughly 2 bricks tall. I'll just take off some of these. So there you have it. Stands 2 bricks tall, but has a very unique spot for the for that piece. And the last one we also talked about before was the mustache piece. We will see this on our minifigure in just a bit. This is a new neck piece, which has only 1 color so far. A lot of these only have 1 color so far used, and fits underneath the minifigure to give a bushy mustache look. So now let's get on to our minifigures. The first minifigure in this set is Deputron. This is a very basic looking figure with a lot of unique characteristics. This is the only time where we have all the molds, and I'd say it's basic just because of his function and design. He's got a little deputy badge. He's got a printed bandana piece, which I found very interesting. Since Lego has already made a bandana piece which can fit on the neck, they went with a printed design. That printed design does not continue to the back. It mainly just stays in the front. You can see how wide his hat is in comparison to some of our earlier figures from other themes. There's a better look at his face, which is unique to other robots. There are ones that have a similar eye, but they don't have the similar mouth area. This robot's arm, his hands are not chrome. They are actually light bluish gray, right? And the face is entirely chrome. He's also got some very nice printing on the torso and the legs. He is easily usable for other minifigures if you want to have a skin tone minifigure or even a yellow, minifigure tone minifigure to use with him. There is no robot skin, as I like to call it, that will interfere with this. The robot skin basically goes to any parts that are chrome and are indicated to be some sort of skin for a minifigure. We've had a few of those, such as Calamity Drone from the minifigure series, to give you an example. Our next minifigure is Emmett. This is the most basic and most common form of Emmett in any set. This is one that you could find in about 4 or 5 different sets, so you don't have to worry about getting this set for this variation. You can find him in other sets, such as Bad Cop's Pursuit, and Lloyd Business's Evil Lair, and I'm trying to remember, there was another one. We'll have to, you can fact check me on that later. He does have a very basic torso, which appears with all the versions of Emmett, including the Western Emmett, and the hard hat Emmett. Pretty much every version of Emmett that includes a construction type uniform, this is the exact one that's used. You can even see his name tag on his pants. It's a very nice construction outfit. Good for, if you get multiple Emmets but you want to use a construction area, you could easily just replace the head, and these still look like very nice construction workers. You can see how he's got a kind of a confident and determined face on him, which I kind of like. And I like a lot of the Emmett faces we've been getting so far. There's a look at the back of his printing before we put on the piece of resistance and the bracket piece. And also, he has a double-sided face. This is probably the face you'll be more recognized with when you find Emmett in stores. A lot of different LEGO sets have Emmett with this face on compared to the earlier face that we just saw. So now I will just put the piece resistance on. In the movie, it doesn't appear to have a bracket piece in between him and the piece. It says it's kind of like a glued on version. And you can see right here, this is how we fit it. So it's nice on his back. I originally thought this was a backpack, but I've heard later on it is a piece of resistance and it's, you know, prophecy and all that seems to make more sense to it. Because I thought it was just a small brick backpack for Emmett when I first saw it in the trailers. So there we have him with the backpack on, the piece of resistance. It does have a little bit of maneuverability when we move it around, but is mainly made to stay up straight. There we have Emmett. And last but not least, we have Sheriff Not a Robot. That's the actual name for him as seen on the box and in other places where the LEGO movie is shown. That's kind of a funny name because he is actually a robot. You can see more of that when we take off his hat, and you can see more of his chrome details on his face and the printing on it. Unfortunately, some of this printing is masked by the giant bushy mustache we get for his minifigure. But I do like a lot of the detail around here to give the sideburns look, and even some kind of ruffled hair look on him, even though technically robots don't grow hair. It's a very nice, angry look for a robot, because a lot of them just look temperate or slightly mean. This one's like, I'm gonna get this guy. You can also see in very close printing on his torso, it does say Sheriff on his badge. It's also a very nice looking torso for him, as well as the leg printing. Very nice for a regular suit, especially for a sheriff. Here's how he looks with the hat on, so you can see how wide brimmed this hat can be. Here's a look at it from the sides and from the back. He does have some back torso printing, no back face on him. And you can see the hat kind of swoops down across where he's holding it. He does come with 2 pistols and rides on a horse. So now we'll fit the mustache on just to get a better look at it. So there you can see his mouth is pretty much blocked by the mustache. You can see how much it makes an effect on a minifigure. And there we have Sheriff Not a Robot. The first object we build in this set is the horse, and, well, you kind of think to yourself, well, how do you build it? Well, there's not a lot of pieces to it, probably why it's the first thing you build. The horse itself is one giant molded piece, and even though it's the first time I'm ever getting this version of a horse, I know it's been used since about 2013, maybe 2012? I know it's been at least since 2013, where it's used a couple times with Lord of the Rings, and it was also used in a Lone Ranger. So, this is how the horse comes in the package. It does have the ability to bend its back legs and kind of keeps it in a fixed position, so you don't have to worry about it falling over. I can even tap on it and stays still. You can also bend the head forward in different directions. You can have it even slight tilts, and then it goes back to there. You could also maybe have him kicking if you wanted to hold him this way. This one, pretty much the hinges on both sides work exactly the same. So you can have it in different fixed positions between the two extremes. This is a small part that you build for inside the horse. When you're not using it for riding, you can use it as just a domestic horse or even a wild horse. Now you don't actually see the Technic hole once we put it inside of here, so that's why it just stays like that. It's cheaper for LEGO to make a third piece because we do get this piece twice with... No, we only get it once, actually. We get it once with the Getaway Glider itself, the actual model. So they just threw in a second one, and that's how we made the horse. Now you can also take out the middle section of the horse and put on the saddle piece. And you can allow your minifigure to ride the horse as shown in the picture. You can also place objects on the sides of the horse. There are 2 slots on the saddle that allow you to use other accessories. This is something that we've gotten many times before, even in the older Wild West sets from around the 1990s. So it's not too uncommon, you know, as a piece. The horse to me is new because they have made horses many times before, but this is a definitely newer version, at least from last year. I'm not sure about the year before, but I do really like this version. It does give a lot more playability with the horse, not only for moving its back legs, but also just for that walking motion, so you know that it's in a state of walking or getting ready to walk somewhere. The Deputron does not have a horse. Sorry. The next build that we have in this set is a cactus. Now, it's really not much to say about this cactus, but I actually do like it. Just being part of the set, it does have a Western vibe, so it should, you know, it's a nice add-on for the set. Very basic build for the cactus. If you have the cylinder 1x1 pieces used in the middle, it gives it more of that round shape and can be placed just about anywhere. It does come with this plate on the bottom for you to simulate where it will go. Makes it very easy to use and can be used obviously both directions. It's a nice thing to add on to your Lego City or to your Western City, blech, should I say. Makes a good easy use and can be easily duplicated. It's a nice add-on, but there's really not much to it. But I do appreciate it. And last but not least, we have the namesake of the set, the Getaway Glider. This is the vehicle that Emmett will use in the movie. I will mention what I think about it as a pre-review. Pre-review meaning I reviewed this before I saw the Lego movie. After we go over the basics. So what we have here, there's no actual, you'd expect there to be a flick-fire missile, right? But there isn't. Everything on here is fully posable and articulated. The wings can move in different directions, back and forth due to these hinge pieces. The rail can also move back and forth with hinge pieces and can also manipulate the wings. We get the back section that has really no detail on it, but doesn't necessarily need detail because most of you will probably look at it from the front while flying with it. And it gives a better appearance on the front. We get these, I think they're called rudder pieces, or is that just for boats? But I'll call them rudders for now. We get these smaller wings, rudder pieces to control a little bit of the air. It's helpful for gliders and other aircraft to use. However, it presents one of the biggest problems people have with the set. It's hard to stand up. It's really hard. It's just made to sit down like that. But I actually am okay with that because gliders traditionally don't stand up. They just sit on the ground. You have to put them on top of you and you fly with them. I don't know much about gliders, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. It just doesn't make sense to me for there to be any sort of landing gear with a glider. You can use these, alter them a little bit to get it to get the glider itself to stand up, as you can see. Now, you're probably wondering, what's this chicken on the back? Well, a lot of these pieces are made from other, Western parts, theoretically, just by the way the bank sign is split up and the keep out is split up. And the top piece is used for controlling wind, which is actually useful for a glider since you're flying in the wind. This entire piece can turn around in different directions. And you can see we have a Technic brick under there that allows that movement, but also keeps it in place. You can use the barrel to swiftly move it back and forth as you need to, instead of having to hold it by the chicken. I do appreciate the chicken, though. I really like that piece. It's not a new piece. We've had that before in different colors, and maybe even this color a few times. So how do we fit Emmett on here? The idea for for fitting Emmett on here, we use the piece of resistance to attach him to the jumper piece on the back. So his feet are free to move, and his arms are free to move. And he just kind of grabs it like that. It's basically how it works. Because it's the idea of a glider, you're supposed to have your arms on this kind of band. I've seen different kinds of gliders from Lego in multiple versions. So this one's definitely one of the most complex versions, not only for the amount of pieces that are used, but also for the function of it. A lot of gliders I've seen before, they would have their wings stationary to the model itself, and this one has wings moving with the armband. So basically, you're trying to pump it to make the wings move. That's kind of the idea they're giving in the set with the flexibility of those pieces. And you can try to use it with Emmett, but you're probably going to pop him off more times than you're going to actually get movement. So it's kind of a simulated pretend play movement. So you know, as a kid, you probably just play with it like this. But as far as putting Emmett on here, it's not too bad. I actually like how that's done, but it does make him a little bit fragile. Since he's only connected by the piece of resistance, which is a 1x1, you know, piece. I'm not worried about the piece itself, but actually the bracket that it's holding on to, it's very easy to pop that off. So I find that, you know, even right now, just by a little bit of movement to try to get him positioned with these little armbands, it makes it a little difficult to keep him steady. So I also would like to mention some of the other earlier gliders. The reason why they would have their wings positioned and, you know, stationary, it was because they had another form of moving around. They would actually, they'd still use the wind, and the person would still be, you know, having their feet free to move, with mainly just holding onto the armband. I don't know why I'm calling it an armband. But they had use of propellers on some of those earlier flyers. So for this set, to fit with the times, it makes sense for it to have this pushing motion to get the wings flapping. Also, you can take each of the signs for keep out and bank and use them for a bigger sign. And without going too far in destroying this set, I will try to take off those pieces and show how they look right next to each other. If you line up the stickers very well, then you'll get an authentic sign once you take the pieces off and use them elsewhere. So here we have it with bank. Let's see if I can fit those together. So there's how bank looks, as close as it can be. Could be a little bit closer if you tried. And then here we have keep out, as they're close together. Pre-movie review, I don't think my thoughts will actually change too much from what's going on in the scene. I mean, we've seen parts of this in the Lego trailer, and it seems very clear of what's happening in the scene from the set and from the trailer. Basically, Emmett had to build a glider to escape the robot police. It seems like a very, you know, it makes total sense from the name of the set to the function of the set. And also how it appears in the movie seems to be the exact same one that we get in the set, which I actually like a lot. If you're trying to build this, you may notice in my build review, I have to pause a few moments because the wings are not built exactly the same. Some of the pieces are built the same, but when it comes to extra details, there is a lot of difference between them. Now that difference provides some creativity, but it also makes it a little harder to, you know, follow with the directions. Because you think, oh, if I built the left side like this, the right side must look like this. But it doesn't. It actually changes. So be careful with that when you're building the set in the instructions. It's not too drastic of a change, and not too many parts are changed. The basic structure of it is exactly the same on both sides. I do give credit to all the different pieces they use with the set, because these are really nice pieces to get. A lot of brown and shades of brown that are used in here that could really work well with Western themed sets, even if you take this apart and try to build some Western stuff with it. I really like the minifigures that are included in here, very unique ones, and you know, some people may complain that we're getting a lot of robot figures. I actually enjoy that. For some reason, I've been enjoying all the robot variations we've been getting with the LEGO Movie series. Because you figure, oh, this is just robots. Well, why do you have to make so many combinations? Well, you have robots for all different purposes. And I like how we get a bunch of them for different reasons. You know, we have your main SWAT robots, which can, you know, just do any patrolling in any area in the LEGO world. And then we have these Western ones, more specific to the Old West theme of the movie, one of the realms at least, and gives it more of a disguise than some of the other, you know, types of robots. I mean, who are you less likely to suspect is a robot? This guy? Or this guy? Or should I say they're both robots? So, I mean, with the outfits, it definitely hides the fact that they're robots and that they're malicious much better than the SWAT ones. The ones we get in this set are very useful for just changing the skin of them and making them for regular figures, so I really appreciate that. I like how we get the extra mustache piece, because it might allow me to make some nice ideas for other minifigures, or maybe even for a brick film. The price point for this set is excellent. Although we get most of the model being the glider, I still like the supplements for it, such as the cactus and the horse. They make the set more valuable and easier to play with when you have, you know, whether you're on your own playing with it or you have a friend playing with it. So you can have a little chase scene set up with this set. You can even combine it with some other sets very easily, and like even those other minifigures have a nice little Wild West scene. You could even combine it with some like Wild West Wild Style or Western Emmett to make a nice Wild West world. So it's really great that we're getting this opportunity for Wild West in the LEGO Movie, because I really enjoy this theme when it does come up every now and then. Unfortunately, I didn't get any Lone Ranger sets yet, despite what I just said. But the Wild West Drive is definitely a good one for LEGO. I have one of the, what is it, the Sheriff's Shootout set? The one from the old Wild West theme. I believe it was called Sheriff's Lockup, that's what it was. Great set, I love that so much that I don't even have it built right now. But it's always great to get cowboy characters, really adds to the, I mean, it takes away from the monotony of a lot of LEGO themes that we get. And getting a set like this is even an enjoyable one. Even though it doesn't have too much it does have a lot of actually Wild West influence. Which you can easily take these parts and build them into other things and have an enjoyable time. So, thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you've seen the movie yet and what your thoughts are about this set. I will be doing a post-movie review and feature this set only with how the set looks. I'm not going to go over all the minifigures and functions and pieces and all that. A lot of that is going to be cut out of here, so if you want a shorter review of this set, stay tuned for that. I do apologize, this is a little bit longer than usual, or expected, but I'm very glad for doing it, and look forward to more LEGO Movie reviews coming soon.